I missed you guys so much. Cannot wait to see you in 3, 2. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be on. So, guys, tell me how this lighting looks. I feel like I need all the plastic surgery now. So, Gregopedia got me these huge lights, and I'm just getting used to it. I like, whew, it's a bit much. Tarot Destiny, hello, my darling. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I'm going to call that my Christmas super sticker. So I hope everybody's having great holidays. Oh, thank you. The 11, like this is like the 11. The 11 is showing up really well. Hi, Crystal Pickett. Boo, I'm calling you Boo too. I called my son Boo Boo the other day and he was like, "Did you just call me Boo Boo?" Like he's too cool to be called Boo Boo. And I was like, "Oh, but you're my little Boo Boo." Hi, Brandy. And let me scroll up. I know Penny's here, Amanda's here, Deborah's here. Hi, Deborah, honey. So I see some of my students that are signed up for the class that's coming up on, oh, what is the date of my class? I know we had some issues with the scheduler. January 12th, we're going to start. It's going to be 10 weeks, 2 classes a month, and we're going to go through the whole tarot deck. We're going to do all kinds of cool stuff, and it's going to be interactive. It'll be on Zoom, so we'll have some fun. But I don't want to do an ad for my class on here. I want to do readings for you guys. So, I did something, and I'm not at liberty to discuss what it was, but I did something very interesting today. So I need all of you to send me some mad positive energy because I did something really wild today. I did something that is a lifelong dream that I had. So something really cool. So if everybody does a little bit of positive thinking for me, hopefully things are going to turn out. Hey, I'm going to send you an email because we're going to talk. Because we had an appointment and there was an issue with it. So we're going to talk about that. And Crystal, thanks for being a new subscriber. We're trying to have some fun over here. So Crystal, since I don't know if this is your first time, but on Wednesday nights, I do readings for you guys. So I ask, donation if you can. If you can't, you can't. It's okay. Penny, I did not quit my job. I didn't quit yet. I didn't quit my job. So yeah. So we'll talk. I did something really exciting. I'm not pregnant. I just want everybody to know I'm not pregnant. Oh, everyone say hey to Toa. Toa, I'm calling you out. Toa has exciting news too. And we don't have the same exciting news, but Toa has exciting news too. He's taking a walk on the wild side, going down an aisle. So maybe we should do a reading for you, Toa. So yeah, so we're I do readings for you guys on here. I have this amazing Raise Your Vibration deck. So you guys know I love the Hay House subscription box. So today the cards that I pulled were My Home is a Peaceful Heaven, which is quite the same. I'm sorry, because my phone, I thought the ringer was off. I turned that ringer off. I was texting with Serendipity. I'm sure she'll be here in a minute. So I got My Home is a Peaceful Haven, which is a lot, saying a lot after the holidays. And I also got My Mind is an altar to source energy. So this is pretty cool. So everybody give me some positive vibes and we'll see what happens. But oh, you know what? I want to do a vibrational card for everybody. Tell you are pregnant. So oh, good stuff, good stuff. So listen, I want to throw a card for everybody. I'm going to throw a vibrational card and we're just going to keep pulling them out of the center, shuffling first, bringing down that white light. Everybody bring some white light down for yourself. Get a nice positivity bath on a Wednesday night. Maybe you got to clear out all the vibes from visiting with family. Maybe you had some toxic people in your family. Breathe it in. Get rid of all those crazy vibes. By the way, Toa, how do you like the lighting? There's better lighting. Gregopedia did some lighting. So you would be shocked if you saw the size of the lighting that I have. All right. So Deborah, let's get my card screen up here. He had a really nice day for his birthday, I think. It's so hard to have a birthday right after Christmas. It just kind of gets lumped in. Like he told me, like, as a kid, he always got like combo gifts. So my gift is actually still in the mail for him. So we're figuring that out, but he had a nice Christmas, I think. So Deborah, we are going to give you Let Your Inner Fire Warm You, but not burn you. Good advice. And then Tarot Destiny, I got one for you, Sugar Plum, because I know you're raising those vibes. I am supported on my path, and so you are. And who else do we have? Penny. I'm going to throw Penny one. My light attracts light. And I've done readings for Penny. Penny is a lot of light. She is really awesome. And then Amanda. Your mind is an altar to source energy. Now, this is the one that I got too. And I thought this was a very interesting card because I'm actually going to meditate on it for a while. Because I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. So, and then Crystal, we're going to give you one for our newbie friends here. Feeling fear is a call for love. So, I always tell my kids, and I say this all the time, don't confuse anxiety with excitement. And sometimes I think when we fear, it's this vacuum of love. So you don't have to go out and find some bozo who's going to love you and leave you, just love yourself. Could be a facial, could be a long hot shower. That's like my new thing. Like I take really long hot showers now. I used to do it when I was younger and in my 20s, and like hot water heater be damned. I don't even care. I really am digging into this self-care thing. And I hate to say it, my other self-care thing is flossing my teeth. It's such a weird thing. But I'm finding it oddly satisfying to floss my teeth excessively twice a day. So yeah, go figure. Brandy, I got one for you. I got Shift Your Perspective. So we're going to bring that up so you can see it. I kind of, yeah, there we go. Shift your perspective. So maybe you need to look at things a little bit differently. I am surrounded by angels. I hope I'm one of those angels. I hope I am, like this is the raise your vibration deck. And like, I just really want this channel to like raise everybody's vibration and just kind of bring some positivity. One of the things that I was talking about with some of the other tarot readers, like everyone's like very polarized in all respects right now. And I sometimes notice that tarot readers are a little, hardcore. I really, in the new year, my readings are really going to be geared up toward positive problem solving. So if we have a celebrity or a royal or somebody who's making some bad decisions, we're going to try and get them out of that. I like Schadenfreude just as much as everybody else, but sometimes you have to be really, you have to kind of raise that spirituality. Shelly Creep Show gave me it's a jar spell. It's a little jar spell. And this is to raise your spirituality. And I think it's working. I think it's really working. So Toto, and by the way, Toa, I have my dude sweater on, the one that you thought was a bathrobe when we were at work that one day. I lovingly accept myself. So there you go. And I wish there was a card in here that says Toa should make Anna an espresso because she really needs one. Natasha, abundance is a state of mind. So, this is again like a whole Joe Dispenza thinking. You have to feel it to bring it to you. So you have to, experience that joy, practice feeling joy so that joy is drawn to you. Really, really some cool stuff here. So let me see. I just want to see who else is here. Jumpin' Jupiter. I make way for miracles. So get your snowplows out if you're up in New York State or something. I'll be going back, Crystal, to your question. So hang on there, okay? And then Brandy, I don't know if I did one for Brandy. You are a divine facet of the universe. Well, and that's a cool one. I don't think I've seen this one before. So, if we're all part of this greater spectrum of light, this greater collective of energy and positivity, if we're a facet of that, then we're going to be reflecting that and sending that outward and kind of bouncing it off us. This is a really cool card. I like this one. I didn't see this one. Who else did I did Jumpin' Jupiter. Simon Says, bring that white light. Here, I'm going to bring you some white light, baby. Choose kindness. This is a tough one. So, sometimes, like, if you do have that problematic person in your family or your life, sometimes it's really hard to choose kindness and kind of see their perspective. I've had the misfortune to be affected by some narcissists in my life and some people that, choose more of their own selfish interest than the collective interest, let's put it that way. And it's really, really hard to say, well, I'm going to reflect what they did to me, the poor treatment that I got, with light and kindness. It's really hard to do that. You got to dig deep sometimes, but sometimes it's a karmic lesson and you have to achieve the at least 95% on the karma test that you're taking, so that you can move forward and so that you can be, a better being of light. So that's a neat one. So I don't know if that's what's going on with you. Yeah, good job, Greg, on the light, right? So what else? Debbie J. Marcus. Hey, darling, how are you doing in your practice? Devotion unites me with the infinite. This is awesome. So, being spiritual and raising your vibrational level, having a spiritual awakening, any of those things, part of it, it's really hard to be spiritual 150% of the day. You could be driving down the road, you could have some knucklehead in front of you who doesn't know how to drive, or you could have, I don't know, like somebody who's really negative that you work with, or somebody, maybe it's a dog that just like doesn't behave. Like, devoting yourself and practicing. This is just like yoga. Being spiritual is just like yoga. You have to practice it every day. And eventually you're going to find that it does start to bleed into the rest of your life. And it does start to become more natural and easier for you to do every day. So serendipity, my love. We were just texting, Serendipity and I. Honesty is the best policy. Now, honesty is the best policy. So this is a fun one because sometimes, and where my Southern ladies at, because sometimes you have to be brutally honest to people. I've had, the occasion of a girlfriend who's dating a really, really terrible person, or maybe is making some really poor choices in their life. And sometimes you got to sit down with them in a glass of wine and go, girl, get your act together. Bless your heart. I am not from the South, but sometimes you have to do that. So honesty is the best policy. It doesn't always have to be you're honest and sweet and loving and wonderful. Sometimes you have to tell people you got to get your act together and you got to get back on a correct path. That's really, light bringers. We have the graceful position in the world to do that. Unfortunately, we figure out ways to say it really nicely. But sometimes, I do a reading for somebody and I'm like, you're really a mess and it's kind of your own fault. So this is what we can do to fix that. But again, theme for 2023, we're going to move forward. We are going to try and do really, really positive problem solving readings for everybody. So there we go. Who else? Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to give you a card. It might be Shelly. See this from a higher perspective. So I have a boss right now who always says, go back and look at it from a high level. And, sometimes when you're in the thick of things, that is not the best advice because you're focused like this. But if you are an eagle, if you are a raptor, if you're some kind of bird of prey, and you're on the ground, you're not going to see the prey that you're looking for. You're not going to hit those goals that you're looking for. You need to go up and look for the skittering on the ground in order to find that. I know that was kind of a creepy analogy, but I didn't want to do the airplane thing where you're jumping out of the airplane because some people are afraid of that. I certainly am not jumping out of an airplane. So see things from a higher perspective, Facebook user. And so let's see what else we got here. Brandy, I don't know if I hit you. Okay. Nikki, let's do that. And I am fulfilled by love. I sound like alfalfa. So when our cup is empty, and this is something that people that are in recovery are told, when they're at their lowest, when they feel like they can't really do much, they offer them help others. If you're really, really stuck, offer your help to others. So being fulfilled by love, sometimes that is, helping others. Sometimes it's passing that love on to others. Sometimes it's loving your dog. Sometimes you'll feel better doing that. So I know Gregopedia does. He loves his dog. So Simon says you're working on that. And everybody that's asking questions, hang on. I'm going to get to you. Jamie Roberts, I call my power back. Now, again, this is like a whole Joe Dispenza thing. Find that center. Find the center where, meditate on it. Get rid of everything. Get rid of the meat puppet. Focus on the energy in the middle. That warm, bright center of you that doesn't have any aches or pains, or isn't hungry, isn't, picking their teeth trying to get the spinach that they had from their spinach dip out of their teeth. Focus on that. Go back down to that energy level and then just let it resonate and vibrate and pull all your power back to you. It's like you're going to magnetize that power back into your body. So, and a lot of us are going to need that right now because of the holidays. When we're around other people, you have to remember our energetic field is about 6 feet out from us. So when we have the holidays, we're hanging out with our family, we're hanging out with people that maybe have drama, maybe don't have drama, maybe have the opposite of drama, and they're just kind of dragging their feet and plodding along, creeping to the end of the year, like I've been on most nights. Maybe that depletion of energy is going to affect you. Maybe that's going to start hitting you. So you want to make sure you do that. So, hi, Facebook user. How are you? I'm throwing you I don't know if that's Shelly. I don't think it is. You are safe here. We're all safe here. I'm just here to help you guys. So, Facebook user, yes, you can have a reading. Throw up your name and I'll roll on back to you. Oh, Jay Marcus, you had your wisdom teeth out. Oh, sweetie pie. Oh, I hope that heals up really quickly, please. Okay. All right. So you know what we're gonna do? Oh, info entertainment. Hello, darling. Truth is my teacher. This is for you, info entertainment. I hope everything's going good where you are. Truth is your teacher. So let the truth guide you along. Okay. And Aries Rainbow Child. All my favorites are here. I missed you guys so much. I really did. You are not alone. You're not. You're here with all of us in this fabulous little forum where we're having a great time. You're definitely not alone. And who else do we have? Who else did I if I skipped? Oh, hi, Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Yes, serendipity. Don't drink through a straw because J Marcus, that will create, it's dry socket. I think it creates. Also, it's the 48 hours that it's the first day everybody gets hoodwinked by their dental surgery because they're like, oh, it's not so bad. I'm on painkillers and I'm not that swollen at all. And then it's that second day is when all the swelling comes in. So take it easy. Don't do anything crazy. Behave. Behave. So, all right. So we're going to put these on the side for now. As I do your readings, if you want another one pulled, I will do so. Let me go back up. I'm going to be back up in the comments, guys, so just chill out. And Crystal. We're going to do Crystal first. Crystal needs a reading. Okay. All right. So we're going to use the Stickman deck. Okay. You know what's so crazy? Like I have done like a bunch of readings, but I took like the last few days off. So I've just been like not at this part of my desk, and it just feels so good to be back here. It really does. I got to tell you guys, I really did miss you. I hope everyone had great holidays so far. We're going to have the Tarot-thon over New Year's, so we'll have some fun with that. And I think I'll do a few production videos for that, but we'll also be jumping in, and we could do 12-month readings real quick if you guys want them. I did a poll on YouTube, and I got some good insight from you guys. So, all right. So, Crystal, will you and Jay reconnect? Let's see. Other tarot readers online give you one card. I always give you 3, and then I give you extra because I'm extra. So, all right, we got the Hermit. So the time alone, the time that you're spending alone right now is actually really good for you. We're going to pull this sucker down a little bit. The time that you're spending alone is really good for you. There's a different future for you. I don't know. It looks like this relationship was just super disappointing. It didn't, I don't want to say tick all the boxes, but it just wasn't fulfilling for you. Know that there's someone out there that's going to fill the cup a lot better. This person's not in your purview, but it will be somebody who will be able to set better foundations and create a better future together with you. So, we all have those people in our lives that we're like, oh man, that stinks. Relationship's over. You got to move on. In your heart of hearts, you do know that relationship was not super fulfilling for you. It might look like a duck and it might quack like a duck and you might really like ducks, but, this just might not be the correct person to do everything, to kind of raise you up. So, you never know. It took me, I wasn't married 3 times, but I had 3 like major relationships in my life. And it took me to the 3rd one until I found the Gregopedia. You guys all know and love him. He's 1 year older today. So, this guy does not say the right things. So Jay doesn't say the right things. He doesn't have the right words in his mouth. He doesn't have the right words in his head. He doesn't have the right intention. Feels young, feels like he needs to grow up a little bit more. So, maybe with time, but I wouldn't hold my horses for him. Go out there, go see what else is out there. And, I hate this saying like, oh, if you love someone, set them free, they'll come back. Because that's not always the truth. Some things do take effort. There's a sloppy shuffle for you guys. So those of you that are new, when we sloppy shuffle, everybody takes a drink of whatever they have. I have cranberry ginger ale. It's like canned cranberry ginger ale. It's really good. And the glucose monitor I have on my arm is going, woo, it's spiking up. So everybody have a drink for that sloppy shuffle. All right. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. If you're not subscribed, please do it. So, all right, let's take a look. Now we got some other questions coming in. Deborah, thank you so much for your contribution. And I'm going to swap it up. This deck's a little bit shiny for this crazy lighting. So let's see how my other deck does. Let's see how the giant one does. We'll see how this looks. I also have my my Lenormand out, guys. So if you want a little Lenormand too, let me know. Ah, party time. Excellent. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. So there's a few things here. You're on the right path. Absolutely. This is telling us this is exciting time, and when we do get those illuminative moments, did I say illuminative? Not aluminum, but illuminative. When we have those illuminative moments, because the reality is like spirituality is not, it's not a direct lineup. It's not like you're in a plane and you're taking off and all of a sudden you're there, like you have enlightenment. It is a path, and you do have to kind of go through some phases of it. So sometimes you get really excited. We're like, oh, it's like coming together, and I get it. Like I'm feeling it, and like that's a huge celebration moment. But when we hit those high points, sometimes we forget to continue what we're doing. So it's like, again, if you go to the gym, not to be like a gym crazy person, but if you go to a gym and you're deadlifting and you like hit this max amount and you're like all excited about it, and then like you kind of take a few days off and you eat some pizza and you go bananas. I'm not a deadlifter, just so you guys know. You kind of don't get back to what you're supposed to do. So you should like refine that moment. And that's what this says right here. This 3 of Cups and then this 8 of Pentacles is when you have those moments of illumination, excitement, joy, you should really go back and kind of refine that. So I actually saw a short, I don't know who the woman was, but she was saying the most terrifying emotion that people can have is joy. And I'm sorry that I can't reference who this was. But she said the most terrifying emotion that you can have is joy. And this is why, because that moment of joy, when you get there, when you get that pinnacle of joy and you go, this is great. Oh, I'm having a great time. I'm doing all the right things. I'm in the right place. Some of us will automatically go, oh, when is it going to end? Like when am I going to lose this? When am I going to lose my footing on this? And that, is really a shame, because, we should feel joy. Life does have ups and downs, of course, but, we should embrace that joy and really, really feel that joy, sink our teeth into it, bite down. This will bring you to a place. Now, if we carefully do this, Debbie, and we carefully navigate like almost sustaining that joy, like it's a note on a violin or in your voice or on a trumpet, whatever. If you learn how to sustain that joy and that moment, that high point of spirituality, you're going to come to a place where you need to kind of diverge that path. And it really will start to tell you where your spiritual path is supposed to go. Now, while all of us would love to be like, if we're talking about esoteric, consultative things like pendulum, scrying, tarot cards, anything like that, I Ching, whatever you're into, there is a point where like you really have to kind of focus on one department of that, and you have to kind of like let that really get good and really practice it. And I think that's where you're going to get here. Once you start to sustain that joy, you're going to go, you know what? I really like doing blank, and I'm really going to focus on blank. So at one point in my path, I was great at automatic writing. I loved it. I could just like sit down, go into 5 minutes of breathing, 4 minutes of breathing, and I could and just go on and on and on. I've gotten away from that because it's just I hate to hand somebody a piece of paper or have to transcribe it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I meant there. That's what was going on there. So I will do the automatic writing in concert with doing readings like this. But I think the cards are much easier for people to understand. I'm sorry, it's getting warm down here. I'm just going to take off my ugly sweater. And I'm sure I'll put it back on in like 2 minutes because I'm hot and cold all the time. So, I think it's going to take you into a more refined path where you're going to figure out like what works for you, what works best for you. And then this is where we're going to start to have, when you start to really figure out that medium. I hate to say medium because I don't want it to confuse with mediumship, but when you find the medium, the mode and medium that you're going to use for your craft, you're going to find more of a balance between your spiritual self and your physical meat puppet self. So I know I always talk about the meat puppet, and I hope no one's offended by that, but it's meat puppets. We are meat puppets. So it was one of my favorite bands when I was younger. So deal with it. So you're going to find that medium between that happy medium between your spiritual self, your being of light, and living here on a terrestrial plane. So that will happen. And at that point, I think you're going to get very, very comfortable with people seeing the real you, which is a blending of both. The spiritual side pokes out all the time. Like people that know me like as a regular person, or like people that knew me when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's very different from what I am now. I was still spiritual, but I wasn't quite as refined. I was like a little bit crazier. So, you're not going to be afraid to let people see this side of you. And, even though there is a more open approach to esoteric and metaphysical things, people are there. You still run into people. I told you guys that, like, I have an aunt who's like, demons, like with tarot cards and everything. And I have to laugh because, once upon a time, she used to like doing this stuff, or not doing it, but, participating in it. So, and I told you the sweater was going back on just a little bit, just over my shoulders. So it's a huge sweater. You guys have no idea. It's like all over the floor right now. So, I think, you're really going to come to a point where, you balance the spiritual and the physical self, and you're going to really come into your own, and you're not going to be afraid to let people know it. So I think that's a good thing. I think it's really a good thing. So, right path, looking good. So serendip, I gotta pull up my information here. I'm going to switch decks too. So let me see what your question is. She PM'd her question, guys. So, and thank you both so much, Debbie and Serendip, for your contributions. Let me, and I hit my YouTube. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Oh, Serendip, I'm trying to find your message. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay. So, there are 3 people that we're reading for right now, and they were kicked out of something. So let's see what's going on with that. Okay. Okay. I did a bigger spread on this because there are a number of people involved, and yeah, so it seems like the person who initiated the kicking out is really not behaving consistently, let's put it that way. It looks like there's a certain amount of work in the head that needs to be addressed. It just seems like there's conflict, and there's like internal conflict, and then it kind of spills over onto the outside. So this is an individual that I hate to say, it kind of creates their own drama, creates their own situations. And there's a bit of arrogance that's here. Like, I know better. I know better. And I'm just going to nip this in the bud. I'm not going to deal with this. And I'm just going to do it this way. But it's a very hair trigger reaction to like one thing. It's very odd. In their purview, they think that they're moving forward, enlightened, high-minded, but it's really not. They don't have a lot of control over the emotions. This moon card in the headspace, this is like the intelligence space, is very telling. So the moon card, lunacy, I'm not saying anyone's crazy, but crazy. I got in trouble for saying that. I called myself crazy, and somebody called me to task on it. Go figure. I can't even call myself crazy, but I am crazy. So half Italian. I'm totally crazy. So, when we get that moon card in this position, sometimes that is some challenges that we're seeing with stability, with rational thinking, much more emotional thinking, much more. Even though the moon is fairly predictable, there's a certain amount of erratic behavior there. Having this wheel of fortune in reverse, where this is like the seat, the heart of this person, and then having this anxiety, it's kind of like racing thoughts, making up things. This is like, oh my gosh, the seat, the heart of this person, and then having so apparently like racing thoughts, making up things. Like, oh my gosh, the seat, the heart. My phone decided that we needed to tune in to my own channel. Sorry about that, guys. So, there is just a lot of poor decision making here, and a lot of castles in the sky creating things. Judgment is poor because of this emotional reaction. And you know what? Sometimes I had a boyfriend years ago, unfortunately killed in a car accident. Such a peach of a guy. And he would say, he was so chill, and he would just be like, smile and wave, smile and wave. This is a smile and wave situation for the three of you that were affected by this. So smile and wave. Don't worry about it. Move on. Know your intentions. Okay. If this was an effort to split things up, if this was an effort to prune that community or that small group that was there, it was done foolishly. I don't know. There's that whole thing, birds of a feather. So, sometimes you have to really kind of look at like step back, look at the bigger picture. In fact, let's do an energy card on this. For you guys to raise the vibration. Let's do that. It's definitely a curious situation. This was somebody who doesn't want any trouble. Like, I don't want any trouble. Like, it's so stupid. Believing is seeing. Okay. So this is a great card in here. So this is like manifestation 101. This is like, you have to believe it's going to happen. Like I said, with the whole Joe Dispenza thing, feel the joy and then the joy will come to you. Really, really make that happen for yourself and really feel those emotions. And then all of that's going to come to you. When you sit there and you wring your hands and you're depressed and you're like, oh, I'm never going to meet anybody. You're not. Like, you're just going to cultivate that kind of like that kind of personality. It's just going to bleed out of you all over the place. So in this situation, it's like believing is seeing, like, oh, these people are tricksters, like, and believing is seeing. So she's going to believe it. She's going to, I said she, I don't know if it was a she, but I said she. I'll text you later. Serendip. I will text you later because I think I know who it is. But so let's do, with that, we're going to do an energy and spirit and just see what's going on with that person. Let's just kind of get, and these cards are very, very positive, and I hope I'm not being negative. Like, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to this is my best, metaphysical Indiana Jones, like, what's going on there? And that's the thing, like, with readings, it's, I always get people that are like, does he love me? And I'm like, well, do you really want me to figure that out? Like, shouldn't you find out from him? I can kind of give you some insight as to, what a person is resonating, but, there's always that decision making there. There's always that bozo out there who's like, bozo is my word of the day. Bozo out there who's like, yeah, I really like this girl, but I want to see what's going on out there also. Like, and they just don't pay attention to her. And then like 10 years later, they're like, oh, I really loved her. And like, oh, I totally messed up. So, trying to be high-minded and positive, sometimes people make dumb moves. So let's see what this one was doing. Let's see what this person was thinking. So, talent guides, spirit mentors, and teachers. So I'm going to say that this individual is not really listening to those higher voices and those higher suggestions, those things that we get from the universe, the great beyond, or whatever you want to call it, your spirit guides, your angels. This is somebody who's listening to the terrestrial people. It's like they're sitting at the table, they're having tea, they're having coffee, and they're talking, and it's just very terrestrial talk. There's not a lot of spiritual talk. There's a lot more like scientific talk and like practical stuff. So, and they're not looking outside of the immediate area. So like, remember I said that your energy field goes out about 6 feet from you. This is somebody who's not even thinking that far out. This is somebody who's thinking very, very closed. And really there's a lot of self-promotion, a lot of self-development that they're really focusing their energy on. So they would do well to listen to those guides. So let's do this. Hang on. I'm still with you guys. I'm texting serendipity. I think I know who it was. So I hope that helps. I don't know. You can see what I texted over there and tell me if I got it right. So Facebook user, can you have a reading? Sure. I don't know if you commented down below. I'll give it a little scroll. Give it a little scroll. So all my faves here. Let me see. I'm just kind of swooping through. Ooh. Oh, for Pete's sake. Here we got more of those trolls. Holy moly, there's a ton. Oh, it was okay. I was wrong. Oh, okay. All right. Wait, Serendip, was that a girl? I'm not going to out. So, oh, okay. All right. I'm getting Serendip's comments on here. Ah, okay. We'll chat about that later. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'll jump in there. Go check that out. I don't know if I follow that channel for no apparent reason. Weird. Weird. All right. So seminar. Which month will Harris come back to me? Didn't we do this last time, sweetie pie? So I think we did this the last time. Yep. I have no idea what I told you though. So we'll do some months. Let's go through some months. All right, so January. January looks favorable. February, if Harris decides to come back in January, let's come down a little bit for your viewing. There we go. Oof, we got to work on this lighting. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, that's terrible. All right, so that's my Fool card. And then we have 3 of Wands in reverse. So if there's conversations, if there is reunion in January, in February, that's all going to fall apart because the plans will not be cohesive. By March, we're looking at either making decisions and sticking together for the wrong reasons or clinging on. April, that's when we see Harris possibly coming with a bit more emotion, a bit more availability, a bit more of a warm and fuzzy perspective. And then what did I say? March, April, May. May, it looks like things start to come together, maybe start to make some plans by May. July, maybe sharing things at that point, possibly places of living, possibly vacation, something like that. And what did I say? May, June, July, maybe some disagreements in July, maybe second guess by August, not having a great time, not getting your cup filled, not getting fulfillment from the relationship. What was that? August, September, maybe finding out that you're not a great fit for each other. October, taking action. November, November, it looks like new beginnings. And then December, maybe breaking it off altogether with that Tower in reverse and doing what you need to do for yourself, doing the right thing for yourself. So, all right, let's see who else is here. Ooh, hi, Jamie. So yeah, so I try and stay away from true crime. I will do, partially because Alicia and I did a little bit, I think, on Dueling Tarot, and I got really far into the actual perpetrator. And it was like, my problem with true crime is that I have a lot of trouble getting out of the perspective that I start to see. So, keeping in mind that I want to keep my energy levels high, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do readings like that. So Alicia does specialize in it. So she's really good at true crime and she really likes doing it. So, but I'll take a look and see. Let's do just kind of a month by month. I'm going to switch up the deck and we'll see. If we get any kind of developments month by month for solving the crime. I don't want to jump into like what actually happened. I have my own opinion about what happened. I do think that there were some substances involved. I feel like they had ingested something, or I mean, this was from one of my other readings. I felt like they had ingested something. There was more to it than just somebody was there and just kind of did what they did. So so let's do month by month. So the investigation, a lot of working together. They're really pooling their resources. I'm focusing really on the investigators, on the police that are investigating this situation. So pooling their resources, they're actually probably looking at some non-traditional resources like people like me, which is not uncommon, believe it or not, in police work. They do implement assistance from people like us. It's one of the reasons that I did CRV. And in fact, one of the guys that I asked to be my monitor, you know, he is involved in that industry, let's put it that way. And I, you know, wanted to, he's, you know, into this kind of stuff. And I just wanted to have him see how it could be used in like a really practical, a practical application for, you know, crimes, things like that. So it was one of the reasons why I asked him to be my monitor. So looks like they're working together. January, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of information that they have. The information, of course, this is the same with any crime. There's information they have that's not released. I think they have a few different avenues, a few different people that they are really starting to focus on. It looks like if we're looking at a forest and there's a bunch of trails into that forest, there's like 3 trails that are a little bit more well-worn for them. So by February, I think we're going to have really a solid idea of what direction they're going in and who they're going to, you know, really push down on and see if they can get a result there. That King of Pentacles often does indicate success. So maybe in February, we're going to see some real, real results. And then we have this King of Wands. This is actually a deflation of someone who is in a position of power. Now, someone who does commit a crime like this is in a position of power because they have accomplished their goal, because they have not been caught, because someone who does something like this, their goal is to execute and not get caught. So this is a deflation of that power. This is a deflation of that ego. So, you know, by March, we may see some of that happening here. April, we're going to see things come together. So Lover's card, you know, we may be getting into where the case is actually being brought together, put in front of a courtroom. So that is a possibility. That's April. We're looking at spring now. May, this definitely could be an attorney, could be someone representing the state, getting in there and making their case. What did I say? January, February, March, April, May. June here, we wrap it up. Things are ending. Possibly this, if this investigation continues, this individual could possibly be ending themselves to avoid getting into trouble. Let's do a clarifier on that. Yes, it could be somebody who is taking the easy road out. You know, we all say unaliving, so it could be somebody who's getting close to getting caught. So let's do it this way. And here, burden is too much, and we're going to end. So that's as far as I want to go on that. But it looks, I'm definitely getting the sense that the investigators, the police that are working on this, they have more information than they're letting out. They have more information than they're willing to share with the general public, and they will do that. If you follow any true crime cases, they will leak information just to see if somebody comes up, you know, all sorts of things like that. So you know, that's interesting to say the least. Sloppy shuffle. Everybody grab your favorite. So, all right. So I hope you like that, Jamie. Thanks, Yolanda. Thanks for liking the video. So, all right, let's take a look at Yolanda. See what's going on. What's coming up for you in 2020? You know what? I don't want to use this deck. I want to let this chill out with some selenite on it. Handy dandy selenite, readily available at aliciawicker.com. My bestest tarot buddy on the internet. Let's switch decks. Let's go for the Star Tarot. So Yolanda, let's see what's coming up for you. Let's start with the spring. Okay. Yolanda. So you have a task ahead of you. Okay. Spiritual task. So right now you don't feel like you have the power for change, for manifestation in you. Guess what? You do. You're just blocking it. Okay. So what you need to do is, and I don't know if you were on when I pulled that card, the believing is seeing, having, and this is at my day job at our Christmas party, I outed myself as a psychic. And one of the sales guys goes, I don't believe in that. And I said, well, you can either believe that I'm really good at what I do, or that I'm like the best salesperson in the world. So I believe that I'm really good at what I do. You have to trust it. And, this is with my students that are learning how to read or learning how to read intuitively. This is really hard for them sometimes. Like, they go, I just feel like I'm making it up. I feel like I'm just kind of spouting and talking. And that is sometimes how those messages come through. So getting these spiritual messages, getting more in tune with the ultimate control that you have over your destination, getting in the driver's seat, getting in that spiritual driver's seat. That's a really tough thing. Like, some people are like, why are things happening to me? Why did my dog die? Why, did this person leave my life? Getting into that spiritual driver's seat, it doesn't mean that, the people that we love or the things that we adore aren't going to leave us at some point. That sometimes those things happen, but you can kind of steer your destiny in a different direction. You will feel this come in. And I always say, cultivating, like spirituality, it's a garden for us. We do have to actually work at it. You got to work the soil. You got to make good conditions to, get things going. And if that means, meditating, bringing the white light down, burning incense, whatever, you got to run around your house 55 times with a stick of sage, like a lunatic, and letting your neighbors go, wow, the crazy person next door, it's me. So unfortunately, my neighbors, they kind of have accepted it at this point. But, I think if you start to bring those practices in, if you start to really, really accept that you can enact change into your own environment, I think you're going to see this blossoming in the spring. So use that and just think about how, the spring and moving into this more spiritual power is going to bring better things to you. So heart of the matter, and this is all spring. The joy is there. The joy is there. And you have to learn to spread that out. In your head, you're always thinking that, oh, well, you're right now, your mindset is like a half empty, or like the cup is going to break. That's kind of your mindset. The joy is there. Quiet your mind. Don't look at what's going on around you. Quiet your mind and believe that good things will draw to you, that good things will come from what you do. That really is where all this good stuff comes from. People say, oh, bad stuff happens to good people, only the good die young, that kind of stuff. But I don't believe that. I believe we can change our destiny. to destiny. I think we can heal ourselves from certain ailments. I think we can make, effective, energetic change to our lives. I think we can do it. You just have to believe it. Sometimes you have to believe it to get your results. You have to believe it to see the miracle. Don't wish in one hand and in the other. You have to make these things happen for yourself. And that, through the practice of meditation, through, throwing out, good vibes and trying to do good things for people, like, you're going to find that it comes back to you. That whole thing of, and I'm not a Wiccan. I don't practice any of the pagan crafts or anything like that. But I believe that if you put something good out, you are going to get it back threefold. So, and at the beginning of this video, I put something really big out there. So I'm hoping that it's going to come back in threefold. So, and it's not a lottery ticket and it's not a baby. I'm not having a baby. I am far too old to have a baby. So, I know some of you thought I was having a baby when I said that announcement. I'm not having a baby. But we may get a puppy in the spring. We may do that. Gregopedia asked for a puppy for Christmas, and I am not ready. I need to make some changes in my life. I need to have a little bit more flexibility in terms of time, because once upon a time I was a dog trainer, and I do want our puppy to be very well trained. So yes, we will talk about that. But other big things going on. So Yolanda, I think the spring, we just did the spring. The spring is about you blossoming spiritually and bringing better things in. And remember, that cup is full. It's not half full. It's full. It's got stuff in it. And if it doesn't have stuff in it, manifest stuff in it. So, if you want it to be wine, if you want it to be joy, if you want it to be a tall, dark, handsome dude, imagine that cup filling up with him. That sounded kind of gross, but yeah, you get the picture. All right. It's all about that. And Deborah, I see. Yeah. I'm getting better about embracing the joy instead of waiting for the next shoe to drop. So yeah, like that's the thing. Like when I pulled your card before, Deborah, as you go through that spiritual journey, you're going to have those high points where you go, oh, I get it. Woo, this is enlightened. I feel enlightenment. And you go, oh, but then I'm like this, dirty physical meat puppet. And we all go back to the meat puppet. But you know what? The more beautiful our souls are, the more joy we feel, the more beautiful this meat puppet gets. So, do it that way. Who needs a plastic surgeon? Resonate all this beauty. So, so let's see who else is here. Serendipity. Yeah. When I was doing that reading, something's up there. I don't know what that is. A little erratic. But you know what? Like some of us that are intuitives, sometimes we get affected by the people around us. The sensitives. Sometimes we suck up that energy. Which is really unfortunate. Hello, Sarah. So, Amina. Oh, did you make the right decision? Okay, so let's see. Oh, sloppy shuffle. Another sloppy shuffle, guys. Ah, totally sloppy shuffle. Maybe I should switch the deck. Wait, let's do a little. Give that a minute or two, and we'll all have a drink for the sloppy shuffle. I should not be drinking this. Which, by the way, so those of you that follow me, I disclosure. So I had a bad blood test. I had a blood test that my A1C was not really cool. So doctor said, hey, we're going to try this drug, and I want you to think about it. I want you to try and do it with food and diet. So I did Noom, and couldn't really get things to level out. So I got this handy dandy glucose monitor on the back of my arm. And what it's showing me, even Gregopedia was like, you're not diabetic. It keeps bottoming out. Like it has alarms and everything. So if it goes off while we're on here, I apologize. But it has alarms, and my blood sugar keeps dropping. So I'm like, I guess hypoglycemic. So we're going to talk a little bit more with the doctor about that. But I'm actually doing a bunch of meditative work to kind of reset that and like put some energy into my pancreas. My pancreas wants to behave a little bit better because I need it for a little bit longer. So yeah, and like to be sure, like I said, I'm Italian. I'm a pasta girl. I love pasta. Pasta, potato chips. Like if there was ever a drug for me, potato chips and sour cream. Lay's potato chips and sour cream. If it's in the house, I'm gonna eat it until it's gone. I'm a mess. So I got issues. All right. So Amina, let's see what's going on with this. All right, passed over a salary job. Let's see. I hope you're well, sweetie pie. This is Wheel of Fortune. This is not the only opportunity that's going to come your way. The conditions were not right. So, the reasons for you passing it up were not, they weren't, you weren't wrong for passing it up. It was like, objects are closer than they appear, like in the mirror. It just wasn't the right offer for you. So I don't think that you did the wrong thing. I think there will be other opportunities that will come up. Your judgment is sound. You did do the right thing. It was the position that wasn't really correct. And I think there's a lot to be said here about not, I don't want to say that you weren't prepared for the role, but there are things that you were not prepared for that were not really disclosed. Like it wasn't out there like, hey, you're gonna have to do X, Y, and Z. Like for example, this would be like if I got a job and I knew there was some math involved, but they didn't tell me that there was going to be trigonometry and I would have to do trigonometry at some point. I can't do trigonometry. I haven't done trigonometry. I would be like, oh, now I'm in trouble. So it's almost like there was like this hidden disclosure there that there was, there were going to be things that you would have to do that you just weren't going to be prepared to do. So you would have to back out of it. Is the freelance position better? Absolutely. That is a 150%. You're shining in the freelance position. Whereas if you had taken this salaried position, you would have much more responsibility that you were not entirely prepared for. Will the offer come up again? The offer may come up again. They do like you very, very much. Will they change the offer? I think they will make the offer later. That'll be a much sweeter deal. And you'll be in a position then. Like I said, they really like you. And this is not the last opportunity. It's not like this is a door slammed in your face. I think they will eventually figure out kind of a better way to romance you into a permanent position there. And that'll be like an as it comes kind of circumstance. There's hidden things here. We're not going to know the whole thing about it until that offer comes up, which if it's not in their purview now, we're not going to read that energetically. It's just not going to come up for us. That feels very unwritten. Let's put it that way. So I think you did the right thing here. I think you're much shinier, autonomous person here doing this as freelance. So I think that they like you very much. So, this did not reflect negatively on you. They kind of stepped back and said, oh, well, maybe we need to do something a little bit different. I don't think they're immediately going to give you a different revised offer, but I think eventually they're going to be like, come on, why don't you come to the prom with us? And we'll buy you, a new pair of shoes. Like you'll get like a better offer. So hope that works for you, honey. Keep me posted on that. So I am not being negative. Yeah, I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying not to be. So who's this? Facebook user. I'm going to give you 3 cards. Give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps of mister. Give me 3 steps door to door. Give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps of mister. And you never see me no more. Show my age. Singing these 70s songs. These lights are showing my age. Oh boy. And we got trolls. Trolls on Facebook. There's a troll in the dungeon. All right. Get a read. Get a read for this anonymous Facebook user. So I gave you 3 cards. Anonymous Facebook user. You got to tell me how I do. So, something coming. Oh. So what are you up to, Facebook user? So we got lovers, we got Ace of Cups, and we have that 10 of Wands in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse. So there's a situation that's like pretty sweet and awesome right now. Definitely like a committed situation. You're in deep, you're having a great time, but it's almost like it's too good to sustain. It's like rah, all the way up here. Too good to sustain. You can't keep it going. This is almost like you're going to kind of blow it up on your own. Kind of do a misstep and just kind of get out of it. You're like, it's just too much for you. Making that decision, you may get some offers that may appear better, but you always want to look in that rear view mirror, make sure that the side view mirror objects are closer than they seem. You want to make sure, or closer objects may appear closer than they are, or may appear further than they are. I can't remember what your side mirror says, but to that effect. So, you may be distracted by the side mirrors and not the rear view mirror. So use your higher mind in this situation. If you're looking about splitting out of a situation, out of a job, something like that, make sure that you use your higher mind on this and really explore all the avenues before you commit to it. Okay. Even sometimes when things are exhausting, I tell my kids all the time, love is a verb. It is not a feeling. We got that feeling that we get is a chemical feeling. that's physiological science that's going on versus, having a logical, big brain where you actually make the effort to commit to somebody. You can hop in the sack with anybody, and have a great time. But in order to sustain a relationship over a period of time, you do have to use your logical higher brain and make sure that you commit. So use your logical higher brain before you split out of anything. I know sometimes it feels a little heavy. Sometimes you get in these situations, it's like, oh God, I just want to get out. And, maybe you have to think before you do it. So Adriana, personal chef. I would love to be a person that had a personal chef. So I can't afford one. I'm sorry. Let's see what's going on with your personal chef job. So it looks like it's coming to an end. Wonder how much longer it looks like I have. So let's see how much longer we have with the employer, the current employer right now. Okay. So I think they're still trying to figure out where they're going. Like they're still trying to figure out what's happening there. And there's somebody here in the middle that's not real thrilled with the situation either. So I don't know if this is you or if that's maybe the wife or some female that's involved in the employment. But there's somebody who's not thrilled with the situation as it's going. And it looks like there's going to be a happier ending. So are you certain that it's ending? I don't know if it is. Is it ending? 5 of Wands. It looks like there's not a lot of cooperation on the inside of the installation. It looks like there's some issues with the people on the inside. Where's their headspace at? Let's look. Headspace. Headspace, Queen of Swords, trying to make a decision on this. Heart, if your position ends, they're not real happy about it. They're not real happy about losing you. They do like you. And then under the surface, I think I can't tell if there's like a financial thing going on with them or if they can't afford you. Um, it feels like it's not a very permanent no, and it feels like it's not a permanent yes. So let's see. I'm going to take a look. Is it time for you to make a career change? I'm going to skip over the should I take a break after. Let's see. Should you make a career change? That might be a little bit of an easier path to traipse on down. So curious spread here. So we've got resistance to change with our death in reverse here. But we have the Knight of Wands who says, hey, I really do want to make a change. I want to get out there. I want to go on an adventure. I want to see some different things. But it's going to take, don't wait for somebody to do that to you. You need to make that happen yourself. So, if you want your life to change, like, I keep talking about the gym, like maybe I should be in the gym, but it's like, if you want to get, fit and in shape, you have to get yourself to the gym. Like you have to do that. And this is kind of the same thing. Like if you want to, grab the brass ring or you want to, squeeze the juice out of the orange that's stuck at the top of the tree, you got to go up there and get it. You gotta reach for that brass ring. You gotta go get the orange. You gotta squeeze it yourself. This is really a challenge for you to kind of write your own future, create your own adventure kind of thing. Once you commit to that, it's very scary. I do understand. Like stability is something that you like very much. That's coming through really, really clear. But there is this adventurous side of you. So if you're going to do this, one of the things that you have to do is tap into this Fool energy. So the Fool is full of adventure, full of excitement, full of going forth and just saying, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to walk through the door and see what's out there and see if I can enjoy myself and see if I can make something myself. The Fool is very much like the college student who gets out, they get their degree. They're like, I'm going to get my first place and I'm going to go have fun and I'm going to go, clubbing and I'm going to have a job and I'm going to have all this surplus cash. Like we were all there at one point. I don't know if college students still have that in this economy, but I'm not laughing at college students. I just don't know if like that's the conditions. Like when I was a college student, there was surplus cash at one point. So, but if you do this, if you do kind of jump in, bite down, suck the marrow out of life, what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself in a much more controlled position, a much more authoritarian position. So I don't feel very much like this is leaving the industry. I feel like this is leveling up in your industry. So if it's, you want to start a restaurant, and I know 90% of restaurants fail because of underfunding, whatever whatever the statistic is. My stepbrother had actually wanted to be a restaurateur and my dad talked him out of it. So he did pretty well for himself. So, I don't think that was a bad thing. But you have to stop doubting. Don't doubt where this rainbow path can lead you. There are other ways to do things. So Gary V, I don't know if any of you follow Gary V, but Gary V's kind of like a business entrepreneur, advisor kind of guy. He's like real hip and he's got like cool little hat that he wears. He was saying, like these college kids, like when you're young and you're getting out of school, like you don't have all the trappings of a mortgage payment, child support, pregnant wife to support, whatever the case is, husband who maybe is taking some time off for his health, and you have to support him. When you're young and enthusiastic and full of energy, the sky's the limit. And don't take the job. Don't take the safe job at the bank because your parents told you to. And that's what they did in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or when they started working. Don't do that. Go out and use that time and find your adventure. And that's where you can be radical. And that's where you can do the crazy stuff. And that's where you can become, the Hemingway of your age, or the Mozart of your age, if you will, or the Jimi Hendrix of your age, whatever you'd like to be. You can go and you can do those things. You have the luxury because you don't have the responsibility. So, you may be at a different point in your life where you do have some responsibility, but there's a lot of that vibe that's going on here. Like, kind of cut bait. Like one of my closest girlfriends at one point, she said, I was homeless when I lived in Seattle, but she lived on a houseboat. She wasn't homeless. She had a place to live. She didn't have a home to live in, but she lived on a boat, a houseboat, a really cool houseboat. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And I mean, she was younger, she was in her 20s, but again, adventurous living, like really, really cool stuff. So, I don't want to say it, but it feels like you want to like start your own restaurant. It kind of feels like that. Like that's like a dream, like that's all the way back here and you're not really paying attention to it. I don't know if you want to do it, but see if you can get the funding in there and go forth if that's what you want to do. But yeah, I think leveling up in your career is more appropriate than just making a career change. It feels like you do want to level up. So, and thank you, Serendipity. Always, always, always got my back on here. Or super chat. We love the super chats. Oh, Radiant Rider. Wait. So yeah. So I'll do a brief thing. So I'm starting a tarot class. New session. It's going to be 10 weeks, starting in January. You can go to the description below. There's my scheduler there. You can sign up. I have 25 spots available in the class because I just figured that's going to be a good number for us to still be able to talk, and if the class won't go incredibly long, but we'll do two classes a month so you guys can practice in between. The Radiant Rider Waite is the deck that I recommend. It's either that one or Alicia Wicker's Tell It Like It Is tarot. This book you can get both because like her deck is awesome. This deck, it's got the descriptions of what the cards mean already printed on them. This deck is just a super clean Rider Waite deck, but the book is worth its weight in gold. This book has the best descriptions of each card. I teach you a method so that you can refer back to the book as you're learning, but eventually you will know those meanings through knowing them. Actually, you have to join the class if you want to find out. But I have a link to the Rider Waite too. I think it's in the video that I did, but I don't even know if I did a description on this video. But I will be sure to put that on there because it is a deck that I do highly recommend, as I do the Alicia Wicker Tell It Like It Is, because her deck is really super too. So yeah, so class is going to be fun. It's going to start on the 12th, rolling admissions right up to it. So here, for those of you that can't see the Facebook post, here's a troll. Yay, Dr. Audressois. I don't even know. So, M, thank you so much. So, thank you for your contribution. Let's see if you are on your right path with horses and dogs. Let's see that. And there's so many dogs around you. Like spiritually, there's so many dogs around you. One in particular with the floppy fold ears. He's got like the flop. This is so bad. I can't even do it. Like he's got like the floppy ears this way. And He's cute. He's really cute. So he's hanging out with you. He's a big boy. Solid dog. So maybe a dog that you had, maybe a dog that you've met, but he's definitely around you. So all right, so here's the message. It's not that you're not on the right path. But it's like you're reading a book and you're stuck on a chapter. So there is like when we get the world card is about leveling up. It's about going to the next stage. So in the major arcana, it's the last card, and this is where the fool is becoming reborn and going back into a physical experience, with the fool card, the zero. The individual who is in the fool card here is the fool transformed. So this is the fool after he's gone through all the experiences in the major arcana, and he's coming out the other end and being reborn into another existence with all the lessons that he's learned. So this is, you've kind of done everything that you need to do with the education that you have, and you don't feel like you've really flexed your true capabilities. So that's kind of why you want to stay in what you're doing. So you could and be happy, but I don't think you will. I think continuing to do what you're doing, you're getting stuck, and you're limiting your ability, and you're limiting your ability to flex with what you can do in the future. It will kind of squish this light, and it's almost like you got really, really good at it, and you just like, okay, I'm going to stay here because it's like a really comfy, easy place for me to be. It's like you're not going for that reach goal. So the advice here is you can break away from this. You can do a stretch goal with this. You may need to find what that stretch is going to be. So I don't know, like horses and dogs, they always go together. And like when I was a dog trainer, we were always like parked next to a horse farm. There was always like dog therapy, horse therapy going on at the same time. It's almost like you need to add something into that. So I'm not sure what that is. Like, you may know what it is, but it may be like another layer of education. It may be another layer of apprenticeship. It may be that you need to kind of switch it up. Maybe you need to get out of the physical and you need to get into more of the academic perspective of it. That like I watched this on Netflix. I do still have my Netflix, and my daughter and I watched. We both love cats, and so we watched this program. It's like the intelligence of cats, or inside the mind of cats. Really, really good program. If you guys like cats, go watch it. And they had these two Ukrainian gals, it was a mother-daughter team, and they have cats that they trained. I was like, there's no way I could ever do that. And then they had like cat researchers, and I'm like, oh, I told my daughter, I was like, that's the coolest job. Like, you have your whole future ahead of you. You could do that. She was like, really? But like being a cat researcher, like, how cool. Like, you're in a room with a bunch of cats and like you're making them do stuff and hanging out with them, just seeing how their minds work. Like, it's almost like you could go into something like that. And get more intellectual about it. I'm not, impugning your work now that it's not intellectual, but, you could go further into more of the psychology of what you're doing or what the animals are doing. And that is something that I think is going to not only be something good at, but it's going to be something that you excel at. This is almost a surprise. Like, sometimes the magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat. And I'm not saying go train rabbits, but sometimes the magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat and goes, hey, look at this. This is pretty cool. And you didn't even know it was there. So I think that that's something that you should pay attention to, kind of sit back and say, what is there that I can do? And there's that Four of Cups, which is that like, like, I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing. I'm coasting along. I'm happy. It's paying the bills with our Queen of Pentacles here, Is it broke? Do I need to fix it? Maybe, maybe not. You can get really comfortable there, but you might get stuck there. You might miss this window of opportunity to kind of flex and do something different. So I think adding a little bit of flavor, this is like making macaroni and cheese and like that mastermind that like threw the lobster in, and said, here's some lobster mac and cheese. I'm not a fan of lobster mac and cheese, just for the record. I like my macaroni and cheese pure, nice and clean. Not a fan of lobster, actually. Don't see what the big fuss is. But I do think, like, that there's possibly something that you may want to do otherwise. Tarot Destiny. I think I've finally committed to saying Thoth, because I've been watching a lot of Graham Hancock, who, like, I think is super adorable and super appealing. Like, I like a smart guy. And I was watching him. Those of you that don't know Graham Hancock, he is Fingerprints of the Gods and Supernatural, and he talks about the alternate history of the world. He's really, really super engaging. He was on Joe Rogan. He had a really cool show with Joe Rogan. Did a cool interview with him. But the other day, like, he was I just talking and going off, and he cursed. And I was like, oh, you are just so cute. Really, really super, super engaging. And I never expect him, because he's got this cute little accent. But he said Thoth. And so I think I'm going to say Thoth, like him. But he also says Indonesia, which I think is really cute too. Okay. I don't know if I've got 2 Facebook users here or 1. I don't know if this is the same person or not. So listen, Facebook users, if you want me to read for you, got to tell me your name. You got to put it in your question, because otherwise I'm like, who is that? And sometimes you hit me like 3 or 4 times and I'm like doing the same reading. So general reading, Ace of Cups. Why are you so sad? Okay. So don't, I know you're sad. Okay. So don't be sad. The world is not collapsing. Okay. It's just that this guy is not doing as they should. Okay, so this could be a guy or a girl. It doesn't have to be a guy, because it's a knight. It can be either or. All of our court cards can be either or. So we all have, masculine, feminine, and a couple of things in between. So, not a couple, a few, numerous things in between. So, this person is like they're not getting their act together, and they're not doing what you expect them to do. They're never going to, make a change to the world. They're never going to, jump in. They're never going to be like, oh, hey, let me take charge. So if that's what you're waiting for, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to be sitting in that chair with cobwebs all over you. Sloppy shuffle. Everybody take a drink. Sloppy shuffle. First time here. Every time I sloppy shuffle, take a drink of whatever you have. I have ginger ale cranberry because it's festive, and I'm not drinking right now. I also have water and an empty teacup, but I won't be drinking out of the empty teacup. So, future together. Is there a future for me and Mike? And any of you that I'm doing a reading, if you are so inclined, you can do a donation through any of the services that are in my description or in my ticker. Whoops. All right, these all jumped out. That's your past, present, future right there. Past. Patience, patience, patience. You've been waiting a long time. 7 of Wands. Never going to be equitable. Emperor in reverse. It seems like the foundations are not quite there. Looks like you have been waiting a little bit. You've been more patient than Mike has. This 7 of Wands, it's just there's not a lot of equity there. In every relationship, there's always one that likes one more, like there's always a little bit of inequity of emotion, especially when we're in those younger, and I don't mean younger like in age, I mean younger in longevity, those relationships that aren't that long, couple of months. There's always this inequity, like somebody always likes somebody better and they're texting more. It just feels like he's just not on the ball. He is not on the ball. Is it a go or a no? Go or a no? What does your heart tell you? What does your intuition tell you? Okay. The high priestess is about secrets. She wants us to find those answers. So the answers aren't going to be written out on the wall. It's not going to be something you find on a piece of paper. This is going to be, how you feel. You're gonna know whether it's real or not. So look into that intuition. If Mike says, "Oh, I'm going bowling," and I know it's like such a weird thing. Mike says he's going bowling, and it's 11:30 at night. The bowling alley closes at midnight. Mike is probably not going bowling. Mike is probably going to pick somebody up after bowling, and then his car is going to break down, or his phone's going to die, or he lost his phone, or some crazy story. So, I would just, it just doesn't seem like he's ready to slow down just yet. So, aloha, Anastasia. So, K-pop. So, okay. I know nothing about K-pop, and I keep getting this request. So let's do that. I'm going to do it. I know nothing about them. How many people are in? I know nothing. All right, I'm going to look it up real quick. Hang on. For Pete's sake. Okay. And mix. Oh, it's a girl group. Okay. So there's 5 of them. Okay. That's all I'm looking at. I just want you guys to say. There's 5 of them. That's all I got. I'm not even going to listen. All right. So let's see what's going on. We'll pull a card for each of the gals. Actually, we're going to go big. We're going to go big on this one. All right. So whatever that picture was that I just looked at, we're going to read for those gals. I'll show you the picture again. Whoa, there's a lot more. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, so we're gonna do 7 cards. Whatever order they're in, we're gonna do it that way. Okay, I didn't even look at the news on them. So I'm gonna need a smaller deck. So we'll use this little itty bitty deck here. 7. Wow. That's our moneymaker in the middle of it all. K-pop. I know nothing about K-pop. I know nothing about music. Not like, since like Limp Bizkit. Like I'm totally out of the loop. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've got 2. So you know how like in the Harry Styles band, whatever his band's name is, how like there were 2 guys, like it was him and Zayn, that they kind of like pushed to the forefront, like everybody knows who they are. They did the same thing with like Backstreet Boys and all the other boy bands. So it looks like this gal and this gal. The one second to the left and one's all the way onto the right. Those are 2 that they're really going to push forward in terms of career. So that's really what's going on behind the scenes. Now, this one here, second from the right, she's the one that everybody likes. So she's got like the Q rating. She's got like the best Q rating. She's the easiest to work with. She's very agreeable. They like her. This one is one that's going to get married. This is their bride. They're going to set her up with, whatever boyfriend. It's going to be like celebrity wedding in the next couple of years. This possibly with like another musician, possibly going to see that. So, you guys look at the picture and like, I don't know anything about this. This one is kind of torn and not sure if this is the rest of the life that she wants. She doesn't really think that, K-pop is going to be where it is. This is not the Victoria Beckham type where she's like, or actually, correction, this is kind of like the Victoria Beckham type. Like, I don't know if I want to be in the reunion. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I'll keep, looking good. I'll just show up for some of the appearances, but oh God, I just don't know if it's really the lifestyle for me. This one is the problematic one. This one is the one who is doing excess and just not really thriving in a celebrity environment. Kind of not struggling, but really, really enjoying this celebrity environment. And possibly to her detriment. So not loving it though, because there's some insecurity here with the other girls. She looks to the other girls and she's like, oh, this one's prettier. This one's this one's this. I, can't sing as well as she does, or I can't dance as well as she does. So the third one in, I think we've got some issues, with insecurity and whatnot. This one on the end is kind of our wild card with that moon card in reverse. This is somebody who's maybe not very happy with what they're doing, but the paycheck is there, so they're going to keep going. So that's what I see. Is this group going to have some kind of longevity? And Gregopedia walked in. Greg, everyone said happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
So Greg, Pink Lady, like there's K-pop. I'm doing a reading on a K-pop group right now. Mm-hmm. So what did they call like Japanese pop music, like Pink Lady? Is it J-pop? Was it called that then?
Only 4.
Pink Lady. What was that? In the Navy? So when we were kids, there was a Japanese girl group called Pink Lady. There was only 2 of them, right?
Yes.
So and they did Feelings, didn't they?
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember?
They would know more than that.
Oh, well, I'll have to ask my sister-in-law. But they did In the Navy, but they did Pink Lady, and they were very cute. They were very cute. So what's the future of this band? So they're not making as much money as they need to for this enormous group. They may be moving on from it. That's possibly why they're focusing on these 2 gals and this PR thing here. So this is PR, the girl that they may set up to get married, have like the celebrity wedding, and the one that everybody likes, who's got the really good Q rating, is, everybody's real keen on her. And these 2 that are like their talent masters that they're going to push out to the front. So they may be moving on from this collective group. Under the surface, there's a guy who's really kind of working the whole thing, trying to figure out where, they can maximize their buck, where they can reduce their expenses. So do we have this for some time? They're enjoying it, but they're kind of dialing it back a little bit. I don't know if I'm getting any of this right. So D, if I'm getting any of this right, if any of this makes sense to you, let me know in the comments, because this is like, I know nothing about what do we call them? Mix. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. So I think they've got different levels of planning that are going on. If it's a book, like the first half of the book is done and they're going to start moving on to the other chapters. I'm going to tell you guys, I have a nail that's about to pop off. If it pops off during this, I'm going to crack up. So, all right. So there, my first K-pop reading. K-pop. Okay. So let's see what's going on with Penny. Penny, my darling. January, February, March. All right. So, you came down here, Greg, and now I'm hot. Coincidence?
Yeah.
He said he can't help it.
The dynamo of sexiness cannot be controlled.
You are a dynamo of sexiness that can't be controlled. because Gregopedia works on all of his inner energy. He's just like constantly generating all that hot and sexy energy. It's coming all out. Looks like Superman some days. He does. He actually has a little curl that I like him to keep his hair a little bit longer, so he keeps that curl there. All right, Penny, Penny, Penny. Penny, Penny, Penny. All right, so Penny, let's do, we're going to do work first, right? So I'm going to shuffle one more time. We'll do January, February, March, work. Okay, and I'll shuffle again in between. Work, January, February, March. Okay, so January, we are looking at breaking away from the things that are holding you back. You and I both know what this is talking about. Breaking away from those things that have been holding you back, being disruptive, things that have interfered with your progress. And then we get into February, where you are going to start to share some of your knowledge. I talked to you about this already. Definitely in a position of like training and getting people more refined, getting their skill set more refined. You're going to be spreading your joy around, spreading your knowledge around, to the benefit of others. And then when we get into this January, February, March, we get into March. There's going to be more of a quiet moment for you at work, where you're going to be a bit more introspective, or do like a kind of like look back at everything that's happened. It's going to be a quieter moment for you. It doesn't mean that it's a quieter moment for everyone, but it's a quieter moment for you, where your mind is quieted and you can look backward and say, well, I was here in September, October, November, and now I'm here and it's like a quiet room and I can chill out and I kind of look back and I can start to envision where I want to go from here. So I think that this is a good thing. I don't think the Five of Pentacles is a bad thing in this case, because it does afford you this luxury of, kind of not having to deal with a lot of chaos and noise and drama. So it looks like that drama is going to be going. So let's look at health. Okay. And health looks great. January looks great. Tower in reverse. So tower in reverse is something that we do to ourselves. So this, and it doesn't have to be negative. Okay. So, people see the tower and they go, ah. So, the tower doesn't have to be negative. It's changing. So this could be something that you do radically to improve your health and take things into your own hands. So this fiery energy feels like a lot of cardio, feels like the machine is going to start working a lot better. You're going to start, blood is pumping. You're really going to start moving. So it looks like this is more of, creating the situation of positivity and bringing in, some more steam, some more power, some more attention. But it definitely feels more physical. It's not, you're not like thinking about this anymore. Definitely feels more physical. So maybe this is, you bring a trainer in, maybe this guy's a trainer and you're going to start training to correct some of the issues that you have. Like if you have a sore knee, and maybe it's a physical trainer, what am I trying to say? Physical therapist, something to that effect. But it feels like, you're turning a corner. And I know everybody starts going to the gym in January. Everybody's like all enthusiastic. Shallon Lester actually did, she was talking about her weight loss journey, and it was one of her, not too far in the past, but she said, a lot of people are afraid to go into the gym in January because it's like, oh, we're all newbies and we're all going to quit by February. But she made a very good point. She said, I think it's better to be in there and like, hey, we're all in this together, and like kind of thrive on that energy. Like everybody's here and like we're enthusiastic. And if people wash out, they wash out. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be the person that washes out. You don't have to go with that that tidal flow that goes out the door. And when they get lazy, you can kind of be there and, still be a wave crashing on the beach. So, that may be what's going on. So let's take a look and shuffle for love. So love. Okay, we still don't have our feet on the ground here. We don't have a solid plan, and we don't have we have a conflict of opinions. So we need to get the plan to get you guys on the same ground put together. So just really, this is about writing it down, deciding where we're going to wind up, giving ourselves deadlines, creating a path to being together. I see January, we're still very undecided. February, we're still trying to figure out, like, whose plates we're going to have, whose glasses we're going to take, what kind of linens we like. So there's a lot of practicality. All of this feels very logistic. It just really feels very much like trying to satisfy yourselves before you satisfy the collective. Like, you guys almost have to kind of throw the rule book out and rewrite it. What do you need to make this happen? Patience, strength, sweet talking. Understand that you're creating a new foundation. You are building a new world together. And that it's going to take both of you. Okay. There needs to be this alchemy that you have to create together. One person can't do this. You both have to bring your tools to the table. You have to bring all of your elements, and you have to kind of do it together. So this is not a one-man show. You're not going to pack the boxes, put them on the truck, drive the truck and unpack, and then fix the roof and paint the kitchen. Like, you can't do that. It's got to be a collective effort. So you guys both need to come to the table. That's how you're going to build this new future together, with this really, really strong heart in the middle. There's actually a little strong heart in the middle of that pentacle. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. There he is. This deck is so beautiful. It really is. The camera never does this deck justice. Really great. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that, Penny. Thank you so much for your contribution. And let's see. Freestyle Libra. Yeah. I don't know which one I have. I don't know if it's freestyle or I can't remember, but it's pretty cool. I love the app. So I love diagnostics and data. Like, I really like data to kind of help me understand what's going on. So like it's crazy. Like, the bottoming out is like, and that winds up being, I guess, hypoglycemic. I think I said it before. So that means that, my pancreas is not cooperating, but it's not cooperating in a different fashion. So it's not that I need sugar. It's just not doing what it needs to do. And insulin resistance, I think, is what it falls into. So hi, Louise from Melbourne. Good morning. Let's give you some cards. I'll give you some cards. Let's do this. We're going to scroll down. Whoop. Messages for 2023. Let's see. What do you need to... Woo! There goes some cards. And I almost fell out of my chair. That would have been really funny. When I still had the exercise ball chair, I did fall out of my chair one day. Not on YouTube, when I was doing a private reading. It was hilarious. My client was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, my ego is so bruised." All right, Louise. More sloppy shuffle. Everybody grab a drink. Grab a drink of whatever you got next to you. Okay. What do you need to know for 2013? Empty that cup. Empty the cup. Empty the cup. Take a chance. Take a chance. Take a chance. So the Five of Pentacles, now in the traditional Rider-Waite, this is and the deck was commissioned, and there was a lot of Christian symbology, Freemason symbology, all kinds of cool stuff in it. You know, we can go on and on about it. It's a very, very cool, comprehensive deck. So the individuals and the Five of Pentacles that we see in the Rider-Waite deck, there's two individuals that are like on crutches, and they don't have coats on, they're out in the snow, and they're outside of what looks like a church. And they were the mendicants. It was a religious sect who got rid of all of their good stuff, all of their house, their money, anything that they had, any kind of wealth and riches, to become closer to God, so that they didn't get distracted by it. And so in this sense, it's really about getting rid of the meat puppet and getting back to that energetic sense, finding your conduit to the universe, so you can have that conversation with your gods or your angels or your ancestors or whomever is guiding you. Now with this Five of Pentacles, it's really more of getting back to those ancestors. And there's definitely a hermit vibe to this card. And the hermit card in this deck is the most beautiful hermit card. But this is about getting back to those ancestors, but not like the hermit, where we're just kind of standing there going, let me be at one with my thoughts and kind of calm down. This is about a cooperative, collective effort with those ancestors, with those voices from beyond, with those angel guides. This is about bringing them in to your quiet moment, your meditative moment, and seeing what they have to offer. So, you know, if you do have ancestors that you call upon, if you do reach out to your angels or your guides or anything like that, this is a message that you need to start listening, because they are collectively going to help you extract yourself from all of the things that are holding you back. They're going to release you into the world. Now, what comes with that when we do get released from these situations is that we get into the wheel of fortune that's spinning very, very quickly. So things are going to happen. You're going to have all sorts of stuff thrown at you. You know, it really is. This is going to be an exciting year for you if you start listening to these guys over here, these guys and gals over here. It's going to be really, really exciting, because it's almost like the stagnancy of life. And I'm not saying that your life is stagnant, but that stagnancy of life is going out the window. You're not going to have that anymore. You're going to have all this excitement. Doors are going to open. The unknown is going to come creeping right up to you. And we have all this intuition in the moon card. That's our crawfish or our lobster who is creeping out of the depths of your subconscious. So you're going to start to have things come to the surface that are going to be helpful. And then things get crazy. We've got this electricity. This is the Eight of Wands. This is, you know, things moving very, very quickly. Ideas popping and cracking and just really getting pretty crazy. So, and then we have the Three of Wands, making plans for the future. So those things that you have thought about, those, you know, crazy dreams and aspirations is the word I'm looking for. That's going to start to really come out for you. So, you know, the Three of Wands is about putting those plans together, putting pen to paper, deciding how you're going to get from A to B. Put the dream down. Write the dream down. Like, this is where I want to be. Like, I want to be a rock star. I want to be a celebrity, interior design. I want to be a, I don't know, a lumberjack. You want to be a lumberjack, whatever it is. You know, this is really about writing that down. Swinging from tree to tree. Writing that dream down, creating a few steps to get there, and then going and doing it. Threes are about putting it together, getting the idea, putting together a plan, and executing the plan. This is about really moving yourself into your future by your own sheer will and brawn. So you do have to do that. The Chariot is here. It's very, very, fortuitous to do this. And also then we have the Three of Cups, which is all of our celebrations right there. That's getting in there and making this like the happiest year ever. So I think you've got some interesting stuff that's coming up this year. But the key is to start listening to those ancestors and start listening to those messages from the guides that are trying to tell you, hey, go in this direction. So, it's really wild. Like, when you start listening to those guides, they really do take you in a very interesting direction. They start to say, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing this. And like every time you try and go this way, like all of a sudden you're like, fine, like, your heel breaks and you start walking that way anyway. So Anastasia, I would love to give you a reading. Just really want my nail to stay on just for a couple more days. I just need it to stay on for a couple more days. And I'm totally anti-gluing it down, but I do feel like it's just going to blink, fling right off. Like you can see, you can't really see under there. It's broken. So Anastasia, somebody dropped off. I don't want to hear about her nail problems. Oh, and there's that hermit card I was telling you guys about. How pretty is that hermit card? He's got Hedwig with him for my Harry Potter fans.
Who?
Hedwig.
Who?
Greg said who? Who? Funny guy. Just stay over there and just keep looking good. Okay?
I'll shut up.
Just shut up and look pretty, Greg. This is how I talk to my husband. Shut up and look pretty. So, all right. So, Anastasia. So, we've got this impotence of what you want to do. You don't feel that you've maximized your ability or what you're doing at the moment. Okay. There's this feeling of like, gosh, I should have done more. Like, I don't know if it's, you should have done more in the last year, if you should have done more overall. So the hermit here, this is about being alone, listening. This isn't a loneliness. This is being alone and listening to what you know. All right. So this is, this is your data review moment. So, going out into the wilderness. So it's nice and quiet. You don't have anybody bugging you. There's no TV on. There's no, radio on. There's no kids asking for things. There's no dog barking. You're just there with your owl, who is by your side. The owl is actually, your intelligence and your intellect that you bring with you. So this isn't just an emotional review of what's going on. You're really going to be, mulling over the data that you have. So what does that bring us? Well, it brings us over here to the devil card. So is it the cart you want to be hitched to? Is it the cart that you need to be hitched to? Is it where you want to be? Because when we have the devil card is that comfortable pair of disgusting slippers that you insist on keeping, even though they look like they're harboring every germ in the world. Because they're comfortable. It's wearing this huge, ugly, not flattering sweater because it's comfortable and it's cold out. And I need to wear this sweater because I want to be snugly and comforted. Sometimes we get into these situations in our lives where, we, even if it's not the best fit, even if it's not the most flattering, position or relationship or lifestyle, we just kind of keep doing it because it's like, okay, I don't want to, ruffle what's going on. I just want to kind of hang out and just kind of coast along. I don't want to have to exert myself too much. So, the problem with that is that we can get restless at a certain point and we can get very comfortable with not not having agency over our lives. You know, there comes a point where you go, oh, like I really don't have much control over anything. But sometimes, our bodies will force us to now have, regain control over our lives. Like my lazy pancreas, who is not functioning properly. That is telling me I need to regain some more control over my life, whether it's energetically or physically or what I'm eating or how I'm exercising. I really need to pay a little bit more attention to it. So, um, whew, sorry guys, getting sleepy. So that's what happens when you wake up at 5 a.m. So, uh, you know, thinking about how the plan is not coming together, thinking about how the things that you need, the things that you don't have, the things that aren't in place to move forward. Turn this upside down because the ideas are here. Okay. So the wand is the idea, the wand is the spark. It is the inception, the conception of the future that you want. But then your head starts to say, well, I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't have, the money, or I don't have a car to start my dog grooming business, or I don't have I don't have the right outfit to go for that job interview. I don't have the right skill set. Who's Virgin Airlines? What's his name? Richard Branson. Richard Branson said that if you ever get an opportunity to do something amazing that you've always wanted to do and you don't think that you're capable, take the opportunity and figure it out as you do it. I think that that's great advice, unless you just decide you're going to be a heart surgeon, because that needs a lot more education than just like, I really feel like doing it. Within reason, if you get an opportunity within your skill set, you can just, say, hey, I may not know everything, but I know enough to be dangerous, and I can get in there and I can actually do a really good job. And I'll just learn the rest of it on the way there. If your intention is pure, if your heart is pure, you're going to do the right thing. If you're trying to do the right thing, yes, go for it. Jump off that cliff. If you're a grifter, I'm not going to advise you to jump off the cliff to do it, because people will get, swept up in all of it. But, for you, don't get stuck into this headspace where like, I don't have this, I don't have that. I got to wait until I do this. I tell people like, I've had the occasion people go, oh, well, we're not going to have kids until we have the money to do it. We're going to save up money. Well, if your kids are stupid expensive, so if you're going to keep saving, like if you're going to save for a bike, that's fine. Like that's the achievable amount. Even if it's like a $5,000 bike, you can save up for that. Kids, it's a never ending bill of sale. So my son even just sent me another pair of Air Jordans that he wants on this like collector site. I'm like, dude, you're not collecting sneakers. We're not those people. We can't buy $300 sneakers once a month. So, like it just doesn't happen. So it is what it is. But stop getting hung up on the stuff that you don't have. And get going on writing it down and like kind of manifesting it that way, and see if you can create a different path for you. There's no path that's like really set for us. There are very few things in our experience that are infallible and that are unchangeable. There's certain people that we have to meet, certain relationships that we have to have, and according to the life contract that we have before we come into being. But there's very few things, like there's always free will there. So you want to make sure that you do flex that free will and like take a path down like a good way, rock stars don't become rock stars because they played it safe. It's just how I think, but nonetheless. So Deborah, thank you for your super chat. You're the best. I am not the best. I try. So okay, I'm scrolling down. 555 angel blessings, right on. So M, yes, from playing around to actual business, that's pretty much what I'm getting. That is what I'm getting. Adriana, thank you. I need to hear that. I have way more financial overhead. Used to be much more of the fool. Yeah, I know. All of us too. People ask me all that. I have a lot of tattoos, and people are like, "What do your tattoos represent?" And I tell them the disposable cash I had in my 20s. So I eventually will get like a little cash money on my shoulder or something. Cash money. So let me see. Yeah, this deck is beautiful. Serendipity. It's really there's a lot of detail in it. It's really, there's a lot of detail in it. Facebook person, did I see your comment? I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to get a little loopy. So okay. Greg is too sexy for his clothes. So, all right, I got to tell you. So, Greg got us all for Christmas something called an hoodie, which is a great big giant fleecy hoodie, but it like goes down to your knees. Like Ella's goes all, my daughter's goes all the way down to her feet, but they're like really snuggly and super cool. And like Greg is never like, he's never like, I need to snuggle up. He's been wearing it for 5 days. He's like, I'm never taking this off. He was going to the store before. He goes, do you think I could go in this? I'm like, no, you can't go in that. But he's like, I'll take a picture of the whole family in them. Mine has avocados all over it. Everyone else got like, Angus got like a tie-dye. Ella got bright pink, and Greg got his steely gray. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, hoodies. I am going to see, serendipity, laser procedure. Penny, I was feeling like it was some kind of elective something. I felt like there was some kind of elective something for the betterment of yourself. So diet ginger ale. Yeah. I'm an epileptic, so I don't do the fake sugar thing. So like this whole pancreas thing is not going to work out for me. This is over 2 hours. Thanks, Serendipity. Yeah, it's over 2 hours. I'm going to be wrapping it up soon, but Amina, I got you. I got you, baby. I got you. Try to hit all my regulars. You guys are the best. I really did miss being on. I want you guys to know that. So, and I do think that I'm going to take a break from H&M in the new year. I can't feed that pig anymore. I like, not like that one of them's a pig. Like, I mean, like feed the pig, like, you know, like a piggy bank. You know, I just don't think I can do it anymore. It's, I think it's jumped the shark. I don't even think the book needs to come out. So I wish them well. I wish them well. So, Amina, 2023. Looks like everybody's going to be unbind. Wow. Like 8 of Swords in reverse again. 5 of Pentacles, Prince of Swords, 5 of Cups, and 9 of Swords. So, all right. So, Amina, everybody seems to be getting like, we're going to be untying our knots. Untie your knots, Bob.
I don't untie myself.
Dr. Leo Marvin.
I get it. Cat therapy.
That's from, you can't say that word. The first one.
No, isn't that a hard life?
It's kind of, it comes at the end. No, actually, I mean, I say the death card all the time, so I guess that therapy we can say. That's from What About Bob? We're having fun with quoting movies. So everybody looks like they're untying their knots and kind of getting back to this spirituality and finding those guides, finding those moments of spirituality, and just kind of getting out of the physical thing. I think, you know, with the lockdown that we had over the last 2 years, we were so hyper focused on physical germs, our physical bodies, what we were doing, what we were putting in them. You know, I think we were so focused on it that everybody kind of got out of the spiritual. Like me, like I was the total opposite. Like I was like, wow, full blown. Like, let's get a YouTube channel and start doing an online business for spiritual stuff. I think a lot of people just really got caught up into this physical body, and everyone's like really focused on the meat puppet right now. So this is about, kind of breaking away from that. Now, I mean, I know you're like keened in and you're like turned on, but maybe this is about like coming up a few more levels and like really, really dialing up that spirituality. The Prince of Swords here in reverse is like getting rid of the bad things so that you can evolve, so that you can kind of come out of it. Now, this spiritual awakening and this like enlightenment that you're going to experience may be somewhat uncomfortable. Okay. So, and we all go through this. Like, when I first started doing readings when I was much younger, I had a couple of readings that were fairly disturbing. I had one dude that I read for, and I've told the story before, and I kept hearing like a popping noise in my ear, and I thought it was because it was summer and we'd been swimming. I thought it was that, and I didn't know him. And when he went back down to his place in Florida, he was actually taken off the earth plane in staying at a friend's house. The friend owed somebody money. It was mixed up in some crazy stuff, and the people came in and did him on the couch. So it was very disturbing when I found that out later, because I couldn't place what was going on with that. I was like, I can't do this reading. We do have those moments where we have spiritual enlightenment, moments where things light up for us, and they can get a little troubling. So what do you need to know to work with that? That sometimes not everything is in your power. Sometimes it's not you alone. Sometimes you have to combine that energy with other people and work together to, kind of bolster yourself. So, don't keep pathing on your own. And, over the pandemic too, I had a bunch of clients that were just like wants to talk about weird stuff. And so I put together these fun little groups, and like my friends, JT and Sandy, they're paranormal investigators. Like they popped in on one, and, we were just like, kind of have like this little powwow, and it was just a Zoom, it was just like a fun group that got together. But it was during, when we were all in lockdown. It was fun. It was like, we were, instead of like going out and like meeting for coffee, like we just did a Zoom together and like talked about weird stuff. So I would like try and bring some topics in, like have like assigned topics, and see if everybody could bring some information to the table. We're talking about dreams on one, talked about different crystals, and whether we like crystals or don't like crystals. We had all kinds of different people like contributing to the conversation. So it was a very, very fun thing. So don't path on your own. Like, you don't have to path on your own. There's always other people there. There's always other support groups. It's like one of the things that I really like about starting the YouTube channel. I mean, I had the Facebook group, but for some reason, YouTubers are much more interactive. They really do like to talk. Like on Facebook, I had a lot, have a lot of followers there, but they're very quiet followers. But like on YouTube, like I have people that you all email me. I mean, like some of you, like Serendipity, we text message now. It really is a much more interactive community versus Facebook, where I don't know if it's people just don't want to interact, or if it's just a different mindset. But I am now posting my videos to Twitter. Oh, this is on Twitter right now. I forgot. So hi Twitterverse. So yeah, so I literally just added Twitter on here. I totally flaked out and forgot. I'm totally broadcasting on Twitter right now for the first time. So the different communities that you can pull together, it's really great. So you don't have to do this alone. You should always have like a mentor, like a psychic buddy. For me, like my YouTube journey was really I kickstarted by Alicia Wicker. Like I had gotten a reading from her and like was talking back and forth about how, I'm a psychic and I had, Facebook things. She's like, do a YouTube channel. Like, it's so much fun. Like, you'll have a blast. And then we wound up doing dueling tarot together. And it was really, it's a really great time. Like, I really cherish my friendship with her, which it absolutely, we do have a friendship now. So, it's really cool. And I feel like I have a friendship with many, many of you as well. So, so I think don't journey alone. You don't have to do this alone. You can always tap in, and like everybody here, like if you want to reach out to each other, like I encourage it, like, maybe let me see how the classes go, and let me see how that is, and maybe I'll do like one of those think tanks again, and we can all get on there and just kind of like hang out and like chit chat. Like, here it's like, there's a lot of pressure on me, like keep performing. No,
Dance.
What's that?
Dance monkey dance.
Dance monkey dance. I actually have a little monkey here. Look, so he's my pen holder, and then I have his companion fellow, who's my card holder. Isn't he so cute? But I have to get new cards because those ones, when I ordered them, print really, really small. You have to be like a mouse to read them. You have to be like 3 inches high to read them. I was like, oh, no one can read this. So, yeah, hoodies. Oh my God, it's so funny. They must have been. Oh, thank you, Serendipity. My pancreas is not cooperating. We have a couple of lazy pancreases in this house. So hopefully the kids won't develop lazy pancreases. So yeah, I know. You know what? It's really a shame with the two of them, Deborah. Like, I don't think that this is gonna turn out great. I think there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. I think I was a little bit concerned about him and where he was going to wind up, because I think at one point there was a little bit of darkness there. But I do think that he is improving on that. I think, he has a tendency to not get weepy as much as he gets mad. So that's a good thing, because mad, like you get a little bit more active. So, yeah, we'll be wrapping up. Sarah, oh, Team Time Bomb. Yeah, it's I haven't had an episode since 2000, so I'm grateful for that, and because they're not fun, we all know that. So. But yeah, listening to your body, and you're welcome. By the way, you're welcome. So yes, enjoyable evening for me. And look at all these trolls. Facebook user Ann Williams, send me your info. Oh, they're terrible. They are just all over the place. Oh, Amina. Yeah, you know what? Just like a couple of minutes, like just before you go to bed, you just kind of say, hey, I just want to tap in a little, 5-minute meditation does really, really good stuff. Serendipity. No, I still have my gallbladder. I am fully intact. I have everything. So, 2 personalities. No, I'm kidding. I don't have 2 personalities. But actually, I have my daytime work personality, and then I have my nighttime tarot personality. So it's all fun and games. But I am going to wrap it up. So you guys are awesome. I tell you this all the time. This is my favorite part of the day. I really do love doing this. We won't be here on Friday, so Alicia and I are on hiatus until that first Friday of January. So we will be back on then. In the meantime, I'm going to be burning the midnight oil. I've got a huge party that I'm doing on Friday. So to lean into the new year, I've got an in-person party that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to be around for all you guys. So I will post the lives, or like I said, I might do production videos too, so I can just jump in the comments. But I'll post some lives. I may even just leave it running and put music on, and then just jump back into the screen. So who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? Last year, the tarot marathon was really fun, but I was on and off. So we'll see what we're going to do. But basically, we can do celebrity readings. We can do readings for you guys, whatever you want to do. So it's going to be fun. But I want to do a lot of 12-month stuff and get you guys sorted out for the new year. So, and hopefully, with all the white light that you guys are sending, my little project that I'm doing is going to come to fruition. We'll have some good things on that. So good night, everybody. For all the new people, thank you so much. I will see you all soon. Good night, Twitter. First time on Twitter. We'll see you guys all soon. I'll be back, Twitter. We're going to do this a lot more often. So see you all later. Good night, guys.